Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Hamant, and I'm currently the co-president of the Youth Science Organization. And this video is going to be about neurobiology. Uh, I'll have two parts to this video, two parts to this concept. This is going to be the first video. And in this video, I'll be covering the complexity of the brain. How do neurons communicate with each other? How does the brain process information? And how do experiences shape the brain? Okay. Your amazingly complex brain. The brain is an incredibly complex organ that is responsible for controlling all of body's functions and processes. It's made up of billions of cells called neurons and glial cells, which work together to coordinate the body's actions, thoughts, and behaviors. The brain is also capable of learning, adapting, and changing over time, which allows us to acquire new knowledge, skills, and experiences. Despite its complexity, the brain is also highly efficient and capable of processing large amounts of information quickly and accurately. The full extent of the brain's capabilities is not fully understood, and scientists are still learning about how it works and how it is able to perform such a wide range of functions. How exactly do neurons communicate with each other? The human brain is an incredibly complex organ with billions of neurons that work together, and they coordinate all the body's functions and processes. These neurons communicate with each other to form like circuits, and these circuits share information. And the proper nervous system function depends on the coordinated action of neurons in many different brain regions. And it's important to note that the nervous system is connected to and interacts with all other body systems, including the cardiovascular, endocrine, and like immune systems. The human nervous system has evolved over time to become more complex, but it can also malfunction in various ways, leading to disorders that have significant social and economic impacts. Neurons are specialized cells that are responsible for transmitting and processing information in the nervous system. They are the basic unit of communication in the brain, and they play a crucial role in coordinating the body's actions, thoughts, and behaviors. Neurons are highly specialized cells that are adapted for the specific task of transmitting and processing information. They have a unique structure that allows them to receive, integrate, and transmit cells to and from other cells. Neurons communicate with each other through a process called neurotransmission. When a neuron is activated, it sends an electrical signal down its axon, which is like a long, thin extension of the cell body. At the end of the axon, the signal is converted into a chemical signal, and the neuron releases chemical neurotransmitters into the synapse, which is a small gap between the axon and the next neuron. The neurotransmitters bind to receptors on the next neuron, which causes an electrical signal to be transmitted across the synapse. This process is repeated as the signal is transmitted from neuron to neuron. This allows information to be transmitted throughout the brain and the rest of the body. Uh, there are many different chemicals that are involved in neurotransmission, including neurotransmitters such as dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine, as well as various enzymes and receptors. These chemicals play a crucial role in the function of the nervous system and can be affected by a variety of factors, including drugs, hormones, and environmental factors. There are also many factors that can cause neurons to die or stop communicating. One of the most common causes of neuronal death is oxidative stress, which is the result of an imbalance between the production of harmful free radicals and the body's ability to neutralize them. Other factors that can cause neurons to die or stop communicating include inflammation, trauma, and exposure to toxins. In addition, neurons can be affected by a variety of diseases and disorders, such as Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, and stroke, which can cause them to die or become impaired in their function. How does your brain process information? The brain is a highly complex and sophisticated organ, like we said earlier, and it just processes a huge amount of information. Um, and it has billions of specialized cells, and those are the neurons. And The brain is also organized into distinct regions, each of which have specific functions. For example, the prefrontal cortex is involved in higher level cognitive functions, such as decision making, problem solving, and while the amygdala is involved in emotional processing. The hippocampus is responsible for forming and consolidating memories, while the basal ganglia are involved in initiating and modulating movements. In addition to receiving and processing information, the brain is also able to store and access memories. Memories are encoded in the connections between neurons, and the strength of these connections can be modified through a process called neuroplasticity. This allows the brain to adapt and learn new information over time. Overall, the brain is an incredibly complex and sophisticated organ that is responsible for a wide range of functions. By understanding how the brain processes information and how different parts of the brain play a role in this process, we can gain a greater understanding of how the nervous system works and how it is affected by various factors. Determined circuits are the foundation of the nervous system. On the right, you can see um, it's like six different informational facts about the brain, how it processes information. And something to take note of is the simplest circuit is a reflex kind of like a, in which a sensory stimulus directly triggers immediate motor response, kind of like kind of like a fight or flight response, if you've heard of that. How do experiences shape the brain? Experiences shape the brain by exercise and exposure to an enriched environment can increase neurogenesis and lead to the formation of new neurons. Another way in which experiences shape the brain is through the strengthening or weakening of connections between neurons, a process known as synaptic plasticity. These connections, called synapses, allow neurons to communicate with one another and are essential for learning and memory. When an individual engages in a new experience, such as learning a new skill or encountering a novel environment, the brain must recognize and rewire itself in order to adapt to the new information. This process involves the strengthening of certain synapses and the weakening or pruning of others, leading to changes in the brain's structure and function. Different parts of the brain play a role in the process of neuroplasticity. The prefrontal cortex, for example, is responsible for higher level thinking and decision making, and is known to be highly plastic, meaning it is highly influenced by experiences. The amygdala, on the other hand, is involved in emotion and fear processing, and is less plastic, suggesting that it is more resistant to change. And in conclusion, experiences shape the brain throughout processes such as neurogenesis and synaptic plasticity, leading to changes in the brain's structure and function. The different parts of the brain have varying levels of plasticity, with some regions being more influenced by experiences than others. Understanding how experiences shape the brain has important implications for fields such as like education on psychology, as it suggests that the brain has the capacity to continue developing and adapting throughout an individual's lifetime. Yeah, that's it for today's video. For part one, I guess. I'll do a part two explaining four new topics or four new subtopics in this neurobiology field. So yeah.